Yeah, and I think one of the other use cases of generative AI, right, is like, I get this question asked a lot, and I'm curious to know both your thoughts on this, right, is like, this is a high level topic, right, and this the elephant in the room, we got to say it, right, and I'm curious to get your thoughts, like, is AI going to take my job, right? Like, you get that a lot, particularly in a finance organization, right, or other parts of the organization, you'll see that, is that going to make me obsolete? And my opinion always around it has been, it is meant to upskill us.
Totally.
Right? It's meant to put us in the high value activities, whether you're in sales, whether you're in operations, whether you're in HR, right? It's meant to complement the core skill sets that we need in the future: collaboration, communication, connection, bringing clarity, right?
Totally.
Building a community. That is high value, right? And that's what the business demands out of business partners now, right? So I'm curious to you, if you got that question, right? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
So, I mean, my answer would be it's human plus, right? Machine, if you want to say that, or human plus Gen AI. It's going to complement the work. So if I can take out work that is non-value added and it makes my life easier so I can focus on more value added tasks, it allows me to free up time to think about what I'm doing and focus on the analysis versus creating the reports or the analysis that I need. It's going to empower me to do work in a very different manner. It's not going to go take away what I have to do on a daily basis. It's going to go help me be more efficient and more productive at the end of the day.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You're spot on. Look, it's complementary, right? Nothing beats business acumen. Business acumen is not going away, period, stop. And so it's another means to provide value. You move away from non-value activities, no doubt about it. Automate things that we've been trying to automate across all of finance, beyond just FP&A for a long, long time, and other lines of businesses. But yeah, I don't see it taking, being the be-all, end-all to take any jobs away. It's going to be complementary and help to be more efficient at the end of the day. More accurate and more efficient. That's what it should be doing.
Yeah, those are the drivers.
That's it. Those are the two biggest drivers. And who doesn't want to be more accurate and more efficient?
Right,
Again, time back, work-life balance, all these things, they're important to us.
It's not Skynet. Right, so if I go right, I have to throw a little humor in, but it's not Skynet or Terminator.
Well, I don't know, we're not there yet. We're not there yet
at the moment.
And I think like another perspective is like, I never looked at it, and I don't think we'll get to a point in business where we're freely letting AI make decisions, right? Like, freely, just like no governance, no looking at it, no checking it out, right? You're shaking your head, but I think like that. When we talk about forecasting or we talk about budgeting, right? There's no way you'll just let your AI algorithm. But again, I've always looked at
lifetime.
it. Yeah, not mine either. I don't know what companies are using like forecasting and not checking it, their algorithms, right?
Yeah.
But I think it gets us to a point where we're able to do a great gold standard of A/B testing, right? You can have that machine-produced algorithm, that prescriptive, that predictive forecast, right? Complement that with your deep business acumen, people that have been in the trenches, got that acumen, got that partnership, got those processes optimized, you got the right people in the right seat. Now you've got the A/B testing that you can now give to the business, right? That's the gold standard what we want to do.
And here's the key, you just kind of hit it, but at the end, even though it's going to generate a lot of great data for which you can use, there's always going to be outliers, anomalies, and influencers that you have to, take into account. Otherwise, what you're projecting, whether it's revenue or expenses or others, could be out of whack completely. And for the most part, you need human intervention and business process expertise, not just in finance, but across all lines of businesses, in order to kind of have that. So that, amongst other things, are why, in my opinion, it's going to be very complementary.
And I think you're going to see in certain spots, so if we talk about something that we run today at Accenture, right, our Cash App, we let that run on its own, right? We've gotten to a level where the confidence is high enough, right, and the thresholds are at the appropriate levels where if it hits a certain point, that yes, a person is involved to go look at it. But if it hits the certain targets that we're expecting, we let it automatically go. And someone can then go review the results. Do we get to a point of, hey, maybe on everything we're going to let it go? No, but I think there are going to be points where you're going to say, hey, I am confident in the results that I'm getting back, that I can take a step back, and then maybe I can review it at the end of the day of what was done and be like, hey, do I need to go change anything? But you're not going to go start with it. Hey, by the way, let it go run on its own. But if you can get to that point of you have that understanding, then you can remove yourself from the middle and take an action to then review the results and say, all right, is it really doing what I want?
Sure.
And then you can. But I think you're going to see it in pockets and parts of the organization. And finance is one of them that's going to say, hey, if I can get the comfort level in it, then yes, I will let it go with still having the right guardrails and the checks in place.
Yeah, I think compliance is a big piece of it, right? And being in finance where that compliance is so heavy, right? Usually we have a checklist of everything we have to go through to be able to do that. It does take a balance, right? And I led off the conversation earlier where when you look at this innovation spectrum, right? Typically you see a lot of the client-facing organization at the front, you got finance, you got till and back. We got to move that more towards the middle. And like where we get more comfortable with it, you talked about that as a key phrase, like comfort. The best way to get comfortable with it is using it.
No doubt.
You got to use it, right?
Yeah, seeing is believing, and you got to have it. But then you've also got to have I'll say a human touch to it too.
Yeah.
Right. We've talked a little bit about HR, but if you scan someone's resume and you say, and you're going to say no, I don't think you're a fit for the job.
Sure.
You probably don't want to send out an email to that person being like, hey, thank you for submitting your resume. You're not a fit 2 minutes after they submitted the resume, right? I mean, there's a little bit of like a touch, you got to think of the human interaction to realize like, hey, I need a pause and say, maybe I'll send it out 48 hours later or something else. So you have a feel and you make sure that the responses you're giving back also take into account people's real feelings too.
Definitely.
Yeah, what a great example.
Definitely.